2 years ago, when I first met Michael Weinberger, my first reaction was, oh my God, this kid is going to wear me out. Somebody tell him to cut back on the caffeine. Well, rather than wearing me out, Michael has energized me. From my vantage point, it appears that he has also energized our student leaders. As the Graduate Assistant Coordinator for LGBT Student Involvement in MICA, Multicultural Involvement and Community Advocacy, he advises the Pride Alliance and other LGBT student groups and leaders. He has helped our student leaders regain the enthusiasm, energy, and momentum that I haven't seen on our campus for several years. They are planning and executing much more effective events with the participation of ever larger numbers of students. Indeed, today's stellar level of participation is due in part to Michael. I heard him say, I want everyone to be there to watch me graduate. Voila. The number of LavGrad graduates participating went from 20 last year to 34 this year. We have seen graduate students working as the coordinator for LGBT student involvement come and go with varying levels of ability and success. Michael has shown us how it's done. The bar is now much higher than ever before, and while I have confidence that Jay Garvey, who will occupy the position next year and who has substantial experience, will also do an exceptional job, the accomplishments Michael has achieved point out the utility and necessity of that position becoming staffed by a professional. We are now beyond the point of depending upon luck in finding someone of Michael's caliber to fill this vital role. I heard Michael complain the other day that sometimes he's not taken seriously. He went on to say, I can't help it if I look like I'm 13. As I said at the time, Michael, enjoy that 13-year-old look as long as you can. I take you seriously, I respect your work, and I deeply appreciate your support and positive example for the past 2 years. I am extremely pleased to present Michael Weinberger with a Pride Award for 2010.
Okay, brevity is not my strong suit, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in the shortest amount of time, but I will try to do it as efficiently as possible. First, I would like to thank Dr. Luke Jensen. The collaborations of the LGBT Office of Equity has been a phenomenal partner with the Office of Multicultural Involvement and Community Advocacy. When you hear the Office of Multicultural Involvement and Community Advocacy, besides thinking, wow, that's a really long title, I'm going to call that office MICA for like the rest of time because that's a mouthful, you think, where's the connection between this office and offices like the Office of LGBT Equity? And I'm going to talk a little bit about what MICA does, but it is work and collaboration like that of Dr. Luke Jensen that has taken a program and an office that has been around for, it's going into its 5th year, to elevate it. And I appreciate you giving the support to my position and to the students in that collaboration to make that happen, so thank you. Next, I'd like to thank Damian Clark, who I can't believe I am having the honor of sharing this award with. I have heard from so many students that Damian has been an inspiration, and I actually had the pleasure of teaching my EDCP 418 leadership course with Damian as a guest lecturer the day I found out that I was a recipient of this award, and so congratulations, Damian. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about what it's been like being in the Office of Multicultural Involvement and Community Advocacy. Just to give you a sense of the mission of this office, this is an office that stands firmly in the role to empower students through educations on issues of race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, religion, and their intersections. In support of the campus's commitment to diversity, multiculturalism, and social justice, they advance a purposeful campus climate that capitalizes on educational benefits of diversity through student-centered advising, advocacy, programs, research, and practices. Their collective work results in positive student outcomes that are observable in their learning, identity development, involvement, and leadership. So when you hear that, more words, but very meaningful words, this idea of straddling the intersectionality that students live with, that we're not just one thing, that we work with a variety of offices, that is what the MICA office has done to accomplish, is not only partner, but be a leader to LGBT students. So I'd like to thank first Dr. Gretchen Metzelaars, the director of the Stamp Student Union, who's been an advocate for that office, the associate director, James McShay, the assistant director, Brandon Dula, G, Chaitan, Haley, Dharma, Craig, Pamela, and all the student workers. Thank you for making the commitment to this office and to the students. Next, I'd like to just talk about the student leaders. Advising and supporting student leaders has been something that I have learned and grown from more than I could have ever expected. The clip of me in the video, I think, really is representative, but these are people who I've been inspired by and have been reminded independently of how young I look, that each of these undergraduate students are not kids. They're not individuals who are there just to find themselves. They're there to help each other and the rest of the campus figure out how to best serve the needs of LGBTQ and ally students. So thank you to all the students in the Pride Alliance and all students who are involved in student involvement. The next thing I'd just like to say, I have 2 more points, is about the fact that I am receiving my master's in community planning, in urban planning and community planning. So on the surface, people say, you know, what's the connection between what I do for work and what I did in my master's degree? Now, first of all, I want to say the purpose of an event like this is the fact that every field that you're within, you have to come out. You have to bravely stand amongst a team of people and be who you are. And for that, onto itself, these kinds of intersections are important. But also developing communities and environments that really are representative of who lives in them is essential. So I hope that I've learned from this position and this opportunity to bring that into the field of urban planning. Lastly, I would like to thank my family. I would like to thank my friends who are a big part of my larger family, and without them, I know that I wouldn't be able to be here, and without their support. I'd like to next thank the memory of my grandparents who led with honor and integrity, which inspired me to serve in a position such as this. I next like to thank my Aunt Roz, who taught me to be sincere in every moment, and I really appreciate that. I'd like to thank my mother for all her love and support, for all of her encouragement, and for the opportunity to always focus on what is important, what I value. So thank you for that. I'd like to thank my father, who is my hero, and who has supported me, and who's taught me how to be able to see what's important. I'd lastly like to thank my brother Naftali, who has been the greatest ally to me and the reason I'm able to stand up here today. Without your love and support, I wouldn't be able to do anything. So I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone.